Welcome back to the neighborhood, boys and girls. Our next guest is owner of Garden State Properties, Eric Strohm. Welcome.
Jim, thank you very much.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thanks for having me here.
Awesome.
I appreciate you inviting me to the neighborhood today.
Awesome. We do stuff a little different, and I know your answer is going to be the unconventional answer, but we always try to talk about pre-real estate.
Okay.
Because most people that are in this business have a really cool story. I know that you're not like life as a blackjack dealer kind of thing or whatever. You kind of came into the industry right out of school. But talk a little bit about that, and talk a little bit about, the industry as it was now, as it is to today. Paint a little picture for everybody how you got to Eric Strohm 2023.
Oh, that's an interesting question, Jim. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate being here, of course, and I don't know how far you want me to go back.
Go back to high school.
With
Let's
my
talk about it.
story.
Yeah, come on,
But
bring it out.
my real estate career probably starts before high school,
Okay.
believe it or not. So I was a newspaper boy.
I love it.
Some people may not even know what a newspaper boy is.
Oh.
The younger generation may
Courier
not.
Post?
I delivered the Courier Post.
Me too.
All right, and I delivered that on my bicycle
Mhm.
to the whole neighborhood, and one of my stops was the local mom and pop real estate office.
Okay.
And I delivered the newspaper to the realtors that work there at Wilson Realty.
Okay.
And once a week, I knocked up on the door.
You had the little coupon tab
Yeah,
that
and I
you
had
to
to
take out.
yeah, and you had to collect.
Uh-huh,
You
you
know
gotta
what I
collect.
mean? And I got to meet the people in the business as well as I met everybody in the neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
And meeting the realtors and the broker of record there at the real estate office I had delivered the newspaper to. They said, you're good at talking to people. You should get into the real estate business. And so when I was a senior in high school, I took a night class for a real estate salesperson.
Oh, that's
Because you
awesome.
have to have a high school diploma
Sure.
to sit for the test. So as soon as I had my high school diploma, I also graduated from night school at the local real estate school at night. And my senior year out of high school, I started selling real estate.
That is awesome.
And I kind of never looked back.
I thought your
after
story
that.
was different. I thought you had family in the real estate industry that you went through.
I never had any family in the real estate business. My dad worked for the phone company.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and I was always interested in real estate.
Your dad worked for AT&T?
He worked for AT&T. He actually climbed the telephone poles.
No, my mom worked for AT&T for 25 years. Retired. She was an operator, and then she worked by Edgewood High School for.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting background.
Yeah, we were both paper boys. I love that.
There we go. I was a paper boy, and as soon as I got my real estate license, I went around to everybody in the neighborhood and knocked on their door and said, "I'm not your paper boy anymore. I'm your real estate agent."
Yeah.
All right. Nobody knows the neighborhood better than me. I've been riding my bike across the lawn.
Time to really
You
go
know,
out.
so I really push being a local real estate professional
Okay.
because I knew the neighborhood, and that's how I started.
Nice.
And I never looked back ever since then.
Nice. And you happen to work your way through to purchase a company that is the oldest real estate company in New Jersey, or
I don't know if we're the oldest real estate company in New Jersey, but the company that I started working for, Wilson Realty, was opened up 2 generations before I started working there by Harry Wilson Sr. in 1903.
Okay.
And I worked as a salesperson there, as I told you, right out of high school
Mhm.
until I was 30 years old. And when I turned 30, my brokers decided to retire, and I bought the business.
So your real estate office has been open for 120 years right now.
120 years as of
Yeah.
right now, yes.
That is pretty crazy.
Continuously open. The phone number at my main office, 856-665-1234, that's our phone number. That phone number is older than me.
Huh.
It's 65 years old.
That is crazy.
So people who bought their home 65 years ago still have our paperwork,
Same
our
phone
phone
number.
number on it.
Huh.
And we get calls all the time from people who bought a house 20, 30, 50 years ago from us.
Wow. That is crazy. You are like the epitome of the hometown realtor. You know what I mean?
That's what we try to be. We try to push our small town, hometown feel, but still have all the technology of a large company.
Nice. And you've evolved a couple different times that we were talking about. You had the one behemoth office and kind of broke
Yeah.
it to...
As most real estate companies, we've grown and evolved and changed through the years. We bought a franchise, we're part of a franchise, we left a franchise, but for most of the time we've run as an independent real estate company.
Mhm.
We've changed locations here and there. We had one large office in Cherry Hill in the 90s.
Mhm.
And then in the later 2000s, we moved the office to 3 locations. Now we have 2 Camden County locations and a Burlington County location, as well as we're a member of 4 MLSs, and we serve the entire state of New Jersey now.
That's awesome.
So
And
we've grown and evolved quite a bit over the last few years.
And you also have the ability to service the other side of the river. You have a...
In Pennsylvania, we're also brokers as a Keystone State Properties Group.
Yeah.
That's how we do business in Pennsylvania. And out of the 100 agents at Garden State, we have about 25 at Keystone State that are duly licensed like me.
Yeah.
And so we can service both sides of the bridge.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is something that I think is, it's kind of, I think, having like a renaissance, you know? I think we got away from the hometown thing. Everybody wanted to be the new techie robotic thing, and people did that for a little bit, and they're like, yeah, I kind of like the hometown stuff a little bit better.
I would agree with you. I think in the early 2000s, real estate became too corporatized.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the crash of 2008, I really think people went back to the more hometown, local feel of real estate, and that's how we've repositioned the company.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about the past. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the present. So if somebody out there is watching this and they're either in real estate or they're thinking about getting into real estate, what are some of the things that you look for in an agent or in someone that you want to partner up with and grow with?
That's a great question also, too. Real estate is a great field for people that are good with other people.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a strong communicator. I really think that's important. And that's most of my training, and most of our technology helps people become better communicators. So you can reach out to your customers, stay in contact with them, follow up, and hopefully, close more transactions. So we pride ourselves in customer relations.
Okay.
So I think the better you do with people, the better you're going to do in the real estate business.
Okay. And now we had Josh on before you, who manages.
Josh manages our Renamede location.
Right. And he was talking about looking for full-time agents and having some things. What do you tend to gravitate towards? Because everyone has their own little bit. I know you like to mentor people and you like to teach. Do you gravitate more towards the full-time 40-hour younger agent or the 30-hour-a-week transitioning agent? What's your...
I would say all agents, as long as they're good people, are good agents. We have great agents in the office that do 5 or 6 transactions a year, and we have great agents in the office that do 60 transactions a year. It depends on what they're comfortable with, that they can give their clients the best service.
Okay.
So I really try to be a diversified office, and as long as they're good people, we want to teach them our business, and hopefully they'll grow and learn from us.
Nice. Okay, now let's talk about the future. We did the past, we did the present. We always have to talk about, we'll go through August of 2025, 2 years in the future. What are some of the goals that you have, some of the vision board stuff, some things you're going to check off your list? What are you guys going to accomplish in the next 2 years, personally and professionally?
Well, I got to tell you is that we always have a 2-year plan looking out. We break it into smaller segments, maybe 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, and forth. And over the next few years, we'd like to, of course, increase the size of the office. I'm always looking to grow our agent base as well as our customer base. We're increasing our technologies all the time. And I would like to see another location, maybe down the shore, somewhere in in Cape May or Atlantic counties.
Down the shore is nice.
In the future.
Yeah.
We're starting to do more and more business in the vacation areas. So I think that would be our next move, is to maybe get a 4th location in one of the shore towns.
Okay.
At least that's our plan.
That's it. You'd be surprised how many people I talk to don't have that type of plan. You know what I mean? A lot of people believe like, hey, I wake up and I work hard and I grind and everything's going to fall into place. And I'm like, if you don't have some type of plan, vision, map, something, you're just a rudderless ship.
Everyone should have a list of goals.
Sure.
And you turn those goals become a business plan.
Yeah.
All right. And a business plan, if you work on it every day, becomes reality, hopefully, for you.
I like it. So let's talk a little bit about personal life, because this business can be crazy.
It sure
for everyone, you know. And I tend to be a little bit more reactive. My wife and kids will probably tell me sometimes I have a little bit of a temper, and I get a little. I am passionate. I like to call it passion. I don't like to call it temper. I like to call myself passionate. But what are some of the things that you do in your personal life to keep centered, to keep calm? Do you do any type of workout, yoga, meditation,
that's
anything?
That's a good question also, because I'm also a family man. I have 3 kids at home as well, and spending time with the family is important to wind down, because this business can be overwhelming sometimes. You know, and we go fishing quite a bit, and we go to the beach every once in a while, and I enjoy some downtime around the house on the lake in a canoe, as a matter of fact.
I like that.
We're rowers. We like to kayak and canoe.
Okay.
So me and the kids will do that. We'll enjoy that in downtime, and my wife does a great job cooking and taking care of the house at home.
Nice.
As well as she's a working mother as well. So at home, we kind of enjoy the family.
Okay.
More than anything else.
And what about like podcast, personal development? I know we talked about writing books and all that stuff. Do you partake in any of that? Are you like a lot of people are like on a constant quest to redevelop themselves, or
we're always growing and learning.
Sure.
You know, I don't think if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Right? So I think I gave you a copy of my newest book, Eric Strohm's Secret to Selling Homes Revealed, available now.
Yeah.
As well as my previous DVD. So we're all working on new projects all the time, and hopefully we'll be coming out with another book and another video soon.
Nice. All right, last personal question. Tomorrow morning you wake up and a genie comes to you and says you can sit down and have a half-hour conversation with anyone that ever lived throughout the history of the world. Who would you want to sit down and have a conversation with, and give me 1 or 2 questions that you'd want to ask them?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Anybody in the history of the world?
Could be famous, could be
Well,
family.
I'm gonna go personal. My mother passed away when I was a young man.
Okay.
So I didn't get enough time with her.
Perfect.
So if I had someone to come back, I'd like to talk to my mom.
Okay.
And show her what I've built today.
Okay, nice. It's funny, we've had answers, funny's not the right word, but we've had answers of like, oh, I want to sit down with Mahatma Gandhi, and I would love to sit down with, and then we've had some of the most poignant answers like that, where like I literally had someone break out into tears because their father passed away, and they hadn't really dealt with all of the emotion that comes along with it. So it's always interesting to see the different answers, because some people go to like super rock star interviews, and some people are like more
I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah,
It does.
Yeah, and there's no wrong answer to it. You know what I mean? Like that's the way it is. But that's interesting. And,
Wow. Well, thank you. I mean, it's been a great show, and I appreciate the time for you to have me on here today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in, Eric.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
We'll be back next week with another episode of Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood.
See you now.